Well, welcome back to another episode from Tailors with Love. Today we're going to talk about Fight Club from 1999, directed by David Fincher, based on the book by Chuck Palahniuk. Costume designer was Michael Kaplan, whose filmography boasts of Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol, The Game, and Blade Runner. Rotten Tomatoes has this at 79% with the critics, 96% with the audience. And joining me again is Nick Guzan from Bamf. How are we doing today, Nick?
Doing well, thanks.
Nick, great to have you back. John Williams, also from James Bond Radio. Some of you know. John, how's your day going?
It's going great.
Awesome.
This is good. This one's going to be interesting.
Okay.
Oh, Fight Club.
Well, so John, maybe it's fresh in your mind. You told us offline you watched it last night, right? So
I did.
Are you returning to this film?
You know, it was such an important film for me and for my generation, Generation X. I saw it opening night in the theater, which happened to be my birthday. It was my first year in the real world out of college, and it really spoke to me. And I think it's, it's been described as, my generation's Clockwork Orange.
Right.
And I think that's very true. I think there's a really important message in there. I think, though, you got to keep a sense of humor about this film, though, know that you should not take this literally. But I think it's probably the most important film of Generation X pre 9/11.
Yeah, no, it's a great commentary. Like you, I think I was at the time, we might be a similar age. I'm not too sure, but I was in that moment in my life where I figured that you were raised by like television almost, and you were being told you were going to be a star. Like Tyler Durden says, we're getting told we're going to be film stars, musician stars, we're going to be famous. And slowly we realized we're not going to be any of that. And we were really pissed off. And that moment in the film, I was like, fuck, that's me. That is my life right now.
Yeah, the one that blows, my mind, got a job. Okay, Dad, what next? I don't know, get married. We're a generation raised by women. Is another woman really the answer?
Yeah.
I mean, that's like drifting into Bob Dylan territory or something.
Yeah.
It's like, whoa.
Yeah.
Loud and clear.
Nick, can you remember the first time you saw this? Did you see this in film?
No, actually. So I remember like in college, everyone had the poster in their dorm room. I still hadn't seen it. I was 18 or 19, and then I had my roommate was also really into movies, and so we'd always go down to the Exchange, pick up used DVDs for $2. I finally saw it. I thought, I'm going to grab it. I'm going to watch it, and I didn't know what to expect. I really thought it was, a movie about an underground fight club, and everyone really liked it. And there had something to do with soap. I guess they cleaned up after each fight. And so needless to say, I'm watching it, and, I'm caught up by the style. I'm like, this is really engaging, really interesting. And then it's just, it was a whiplash experience. I was so, I think it was the first time I'd ever had such a subversion of my expectations for a movie, and it blew me away. It was like I didn't realize it would have this much to say, which like John said, you have a sense of humor about it, don't take it as literal dogma, but I was really intrigued. I think I watched it again a week later, having known what it was, what more it was about, trying to keep an eye out for all the stuff that I started obsessively reading just about it, all the tricks that Fincher added just to really make it engaging. And of course, I mean, the style is it pops. It's not a I don't know, it's not a like a fashionable movie, but I mean, the style is so noteworthy. It's worth talking about, worth observing, and just fascinating to see how chaotically Tyler Durden's sense of dress really shows what a new agent of chaos he is into this otherwise pretty bland world.
Right.
There's such intent behind the style. You know what I mean? It's not just style for style's sake. I mean, there's a reason why he's wearing those clothes. We're supposed to look like this, or we're told we're supposed to look like this. This is who you want to look like and dress like.
Yeah.
And it's just ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
I had this actually as a kind of nod to a previous conversation on American Psycho. I've just got off the blower with spoilers, I've just got off the blower to John Shannon and Carl Barbu about American Psycho, and to talk about the style of American Psycho, it's a bit like a dog eating his own tail in a way, because it's everything's materialism for the sake of materialism, right? It's not something that should be there to be studied. It should be there to be shown as an example of what to ignore in life, because it's all surface, no feeling. And the same with this, I feel, in a way, it's almost redundant to be critiquing something that is style based or materialism based, when basically everything about the movie, or the whole conceit of the movie, is that we should disengage from that, and we should have absolutely nothing to do with it. I mean, so like, for example, even the uniform, when they go into the kind of boot camp essence of the house, when it comes out from the basement and it becomes Project Mayhem, they do actually have a uniform that kind of signifies that we're all just going to be the same. This is nothing to do with identity. No one's going to have their own personal character, except Tyler Durden. Nick, can you talk a bit about some of his style, and maybe even if there's a character arc that's shown through the costume? Did you see any of that?
Sure. Yeah, I think it's interesting that whenever he's first introduced, he's wearing a lot of, it's different stuff, but it kind of makes sense. It's button-up shirts with wild prints, the leather jacket, the shoes that cycle between the Gucci loafers and the Converse sneakers, the yellow-toed Hodgman boots, and it's one of those that as things get crazier, like he goes from someone who you might see on the street that's a little avant-garde to just completely out of control, not something you'd ever expect to see, with like the wildly printed tanks and the fur coat, and just like the way that his look transforms as kind of our understanding as an audience, or Edward Norton's understanding as the narrator of him, kind of evolves. He becomes larger than life. He becomes someone that you just would not see, and so I think that's really interesting, how the style kind of correlates with our comprehension of who he is in this story.
Yeah, interesting.
Not to give too much. I'm imagining most people.
It's 1999. Well, we're not giving anything away like Rosie O'Donnell did apparently before the film even came out. Did you read it?
Oh, really? I didn't hear that.
Yeah, she told the ending.
Right.
Oh, wow.
Announced it on her show.
I think she was trying to deter people from going to see it or something, so she definitely wanted to spoil it for everyone. I read Brad Pitt said that's unforgivable or something.
Yeah.
Crazy.
I mean, Marla Singer, she's got some zinger lines.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't had sex like that since grade school. What is she saying?
Right, yeah.
It's gonna offend somebody.
Exactly right. But also, I think I heard that she didn't even know what grade school was. I mean, I didn't quite clock what grade school is, because it's an American thing. I mean, it's primary school over here. So if that line was, I've been fucked like that since primary school, then that really does kind of the torpedo lands. But if it's for us, that didn't really hit as much.
It's funny.
But so, John, I'm curious to know, like, all of the wardrobe in this film apparently was sourced through like kind of antique stores, vintage stores, and Michael Kaplan went around with Brad Pitt to all of these various retro retro stores to find these outfits. Have you not been tempted to get a wardrobe like this with all of the antique stuff around your neighborhood?
I at some point in the film just go, I'm amazed at how comfortable Brad Pitt is in these clothes and how incredible he looks. I was talking to a trainer the other day and I said, what's the photo that most guys bring you? Like, this is what I want to look like. And he said, hands down, Brad Pitt Fight Club.
Wow.
He's just in such amazing shape. And I'm fascinated by the fact that his shirts are always about 4 inches too short, and he can he just pulls it off. The red Miles Davis sunglasses, he's got the coolest hair in the world, and then he shaves it. And unless you've ever, as a man, taken a number one and gone over your head, I mean, it's one of the greatest. It's one of the great. Yeah, it's okay. It's one of the greatest ceilings in the world. I love that vintage clothing store fashion. I can't wear it.
It's not you.
I can't do it. Yeah, I just don't. It's the smell or something,
We won't be doing John Williams walking tours.
Yeah, man, I'm more English. I like that more tailored Paul Smith, bright blues. Like, I like that. But I mean, whenever I see someone wear that vintage and it looks great on them, I'm like, damn. you know,
Yeah.
and Pitt just pulls it off. He's just, it'd be hard pressed to say, what's your favorite outfit, you know? You know, they obviously had a ball, you know.
It's interesting, this film. I think some of the wardrobe has become like so iconic because it's just like that, isn't it? There's so rarefied pieces. A lot of these are one-off pieces that, you know, wherever these are in collectors' places, maybe back in, is it Warner Brothers music collectibles or Universal's departments or whatever, wherever it went afterwards, it's kind of under lock and key there without any duplicates. So it almost heightens or ameliorates the costume in this film, knowing that they're so sought after, yet they're so rare. So in a way, that kind of, I don't know, for you, Nick, does that kind of give this an extra glow, this film, that these clothes are just
absolutely
so cryogenically frozen here?
I feel like it's one of those things where like going to a vintage store, whenever you find like something that is really one of a kind, whether it's, you know, a t-shirt with a ridiculous saying on it, or, you know, some polyester shirt with a huge collar and a ridiculous print that you know, I think that there's something like a message of Fight Club is that if you want to have that kind of Tyler Durden look in your appearance, you know, you shouldn't try to track down exactly what he was wearing, but it's, you know, find these oddball pieces that somehow speak to you, that you know, you put it together and, you know, it's an outfit because you're wearing it. And yeah, because I know that like there are certain things like that, certain finds that I've had, whether it's going to flea markets or vintage shops, where I just you know, I'm really, I see a shirt and I'm just really, really drawn to it. Or, you know, I found like a promotional jacket from when Mountain Dew Code Red was a thing, and it's, you know, got this huge Mountain Dew Code Red, and it's like, that is absurd. When would I wear that? And I picked it up, and it's just something, you know, I wear sometimes. It's like it becomes a conversation piece. You know, I don't wear it to work, but, you know, over a t-shirt or something if I'm running out. And so I know that's a bit of a tangent, but I just think that it's really it encourages me to just kind of look for the weird, and you know, pick up something that could be that you know, one of a kind piece, because, you know, something that, you know, might have had a, you know, a limited run in 1973 is gonna just it's gonna make an impression today. So it might not necessarily look great, but, you know, the way that you wear it, you know, you can dress it up, not necessarily dress it up with a suit and tie, but, you know, incorporate it into your personal style. And I think to an extreme extent, that is what we see in Fight Club.
Did you enjoy this watching it second time round? John, you mentioned that you watched this just recently. How was the
I did. Yeah, I did. I just, you know, for me, October 16th, I'll be 50. And I definitely am getting extremely nostalgic. You know, I'm just at that place now where I'm looking back a lot, and I just think about the passage of time, and I can remember where I was. I remember reading the book and then going to see the movie, and, you know, we're talking 20 some years ago now. And that's just amazing to me. So there's a certain fondness that I have, you know, towards certain films, certain books and whatnot. And this is definitely one of them. And I think, again, the message of consumerism and do these plates match my personality? And I'll find myself doing that every now and then. I'm going, oh, Jesus, first rule, Fight Club. You know, and listen, I'm Swedish. So, like, you know, my contribution to the world, our contribution as Swedes, is IKEA and the girl with the dragon tattoo. You know, and that is not a bad thing.
And
no, I mean, IKEA's helped us all out, guys. You'd be hard pressed to find a home without one little piece of IKEA, or someone who's never had IKEA. It just doesn't exist. But, you know, the message has come through loud and clear. Highly recommend, if you've got the Blu-ray, to listen to the commentary. It's great commentary. Listen to Fincher. Any Fincher commentary is fascinating. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. I could put it on again tonight and watch it, but it messes with your head a little bit, you know?
It does. I mean, because you and, well, I guess all three of us, right, kind of hooked with the consumerism, because we look at clothes and we go, well, I wouldn't mind having that. I even sent you guys the link to the dressing gown in this, and, you know, the guys that make it, you can only buy it through one place. And I emailed the lady, crikey, her name was something or other, Rosemary Gardens Boutique. I'll fix that in post if I fucked that up. Rose Garden Boutique, sorry. And I said, wow, how are these doing for you? I bet they're flying off, right? Flying off the rack. She goes, you know, since lockdown, pandemics, you know, being a bit slow, etc. But yeah, the one thing that people hit us up over is that Brad Pitt bedroom robe there. And
Yeah.
it's weird that we're kind of like, wow, I would just love that in my home. I would just love that in my
Yeah.
wardrobe. I would just love to be sitting on that particular throw pillow. And yet this film is the antithesis of that. It's
Yeah.
it's
Because you sent me the link and I was going, oh man, I'm gonna have to get. And then I looked at it. I was like, what in God's name am I gonna be sitting around in a violet robe with flowers on it? Like, who do you think you are?
God, I think
not enough whiskey in Ireland to make, like.
I'd love to see a changing rooms type of TV show with you in it, where you have to go and do all the vintage shopping and someone else is wearing all the Paul Smith two-pieces.
Man, that is rough. I mean, it's just a testament to how cool Brad Pitt is, right?
Yeah.
It's shocking because I've watched a couple of Brad Pitt films, and you watch Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and you watch this God, he's they talk about the passage of time. You see how he's aged and softened and become kind of Uncle Brad, right?
Yeah.
From this rock star.
Yeah, it's nutty how he doesn't ever want to be called good looking in films either, even though that's the one thing that you kind of fixate when you see him on the big screen. You think,
yeah,
that looks pretty good. That's easy on the eye. But like, it's only in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood that he's ever been called or referred to as good looking. And that's because Burt Reynolds said that he was good looking and that they should call him that. But anyway, yes, it is weird how that is one of the mainstays, even though the dude's 55, you can still look good with the shirt off.
Yeah, I mean, there was in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood in the theater, there was, when he took his shirt off, like you could, the women in the audience were, there was a lot of rustling all of a sudden. Settle down,
Settle down. Here's you in the middle.
Still got it.
About this.
Yeah, God, Brad.
Oh man, Nick. Yeah. Could you? I don't know if you've done any kind of quiet digging into the red jacket that's so prominent in this film. There's been a few stories that kind of contradict each other. Some being that, like I said, Michael Kaplan and Brad Pitt went out looking for this jacket in terms of they found it in a thrift store, and others saying that it was like custom made. Yeah. Well, and there's also 2 red jackets in the film. Can you kind of put those in order for me? I've scrambled it up here.
If I recall correctly, I believe whenever we meet him, he's wearing more of like a red leisure jacket. I think that's on the flight. And then whenever he re-enters Edward Norton's life, he's wearing the red, kind of that rust-toned leather jacket.
Right. Okay. And that's the one that's custom made.
That's correct. Yeah. That's
because
and I know that there have been so many different replicas and everything that have been made since then, but I think that the original was custom. I think because that must have been something they knew they were kind of building this iconic moment.
I saw a link somewhere that it sold it for 32,000 odd at auction. I don't know if they maybe brought it back for the promotion. John, did you?
Well, and I think that before they auctioned it off, didn't Ed Norton wear it again in a fashion shoot or something?
That's
to that effect?
For the face, I think it was.
Yeah.
So it's done the rounds, definitely. But
well, what's the most outrageous piece in this film? What is the most outrageous thing that Brad Pitt wears? For me, it's the Hustler shirt.
I was going to say the Hustler shirt.
That is just, you just go, Jesus. Like, he's wearing a mesh Hustler shirt. I mean,
exactly the same thing.
We should all put that on and take a photo and post it and see how.
I'd put it up with that and the that huge fur coat that I think he again wears over another mesh shirt. That one, it's got the toggle buttons. He's wearing it with what almost looks like flight goggles. I think that's just one of the most, statement making things a person could wear. I think it's the way it all comes together there too.
Yeah. I was going to ask you guys later what you would buy from auction if anything did come up, and I'll just jump right in. That would actually be my piece, because I think there's a bit of a stigma now if you can wear fur or anything like that these days. So I'd say, well, at least this one. Brad Pitt wore this one, so everyone can go fuck themselves.
I'd actually like to see you in that.
I think
that would be. I can see you wearing that. Like standing in a field somewhere, holding your dog leash.
I also, take it off. Yeah. I'd be like in the middle of the field with Roger Banner, like he takes it off. Just that's all me. What about you, John? What would you have if it came up for auction?
Brad Pitt's waistline.
The washboard stomach.
Jesus Christ. I can't get over how good shape. I just, you're watching it, you're going, fuck, man, come on, Brad. It's not even fair. Again, the sunglasses, the Miles Davis red sunglasses, goggles, I think are so cool. I mean, I would never wear those, but to me, that's an iconic Brad Pitt piece from this film. You know, I mean, they're just so outrageous, and he wears them so confidently.
Yeah. I'd pay to see you in them.
Okay.
I think those were Oliver Peoples, his go-to brand. I think while everything else that he wore was pretty much either, custom made or some very obscure vintage brand, I think that those might have been OP, but
I think you're right. There was, because he had the smaller red ones too were definitely Oliver Peoples. And I remember when I first moved here in 2000, everyone had those sunglasses. Everyone in LA was walking around in those sunglasses. And I was just going, oh, who do you think you are? Now I'm like, well, last night I was like, oh, I might have to get a pair of those.
Where did you get them? Yeah,
yeah,
I remember his haircut just being the main thing. All of my friends were just doing that kind of, what do you call it, like a mohawk at the front or wherever it is. I mean, I'm not into it. But
he's got some of the best hair in Hollywood, Brad Pitt, always. Yeah. No matter what he does, that hair is really good. Yeah. Good head of hair on Bradley.
Lustrous head of hair, as they say. Well, gents, thanks for jumping on and taking us down memory lane with Fight Club. Nick, did I say what you wanted at auction?
No, but it did, I think, come up that it was a tie. It's like, something like that toucan shirt that he wears under the leather jacket. That's something that I would probably find a way to incorporate in real life. But I would also get a real kick out of having a pink terry robe with coffee mugs all over it. I think if there was a way to that. And I would say too, for fans of Fight Club, I know there's a great Instagram account out there. It's all one word. What would Tyler Durden wear? And I think that whoever runs that puts a lot of work into tracking down original pieces, as well as I think working on some replicas. So I'd say that's a site to check out. I came across that while doing some research.
Oh, cool. I'll leave a link in the show notes. Yeah, did you see the video I sent you guys of that guy who did the unboxing of his tracksuit bottoms? So
I didn't see that.
This gentleman, I think it's Ragon Productions, and he's a nut. He's obsessed with Fight Club. I mean, not a nut, sorry, that's probably not the right thing to say, but he's just really into Fight Club, and he's been waiting. They've been trying to track down these tracksuit bottoms that he wears when they first have a tussle outside. You're like, punch me, or you hit me in the air. He's wearing these striped tracksuit bottoms, and I could just see the excitement on the guy's face because John, I think you and I appreciate when you do that discovery of a Bond item, for example, and Nick, I'm sure you're familiar, when you actually find it and you think, oh, this is the brand that made them, right? So he does this kind of 10-minute unboxing video, but he goes, right, I'm going to save the brand to last, so you're going to have to watch the whole fucking video.
That's classic.
How do you know that's what I was here for? So I'll leave.
We got to see that. Yeah, definitely post that in the notes.
So he's found out the name of the brand for that. I've done some looking online. Not available anywhere. Nowhere. Absolutely zero.
Yeah, I bet.
Anyway, gents, great to have you both on. Nick, Bamf Style as always, great resource, great fun place to go. Do check it out. And John, do keep up the good work over on James Bond Radio. And I enjoy your personal Instagram anyway, John. I love having a look at the sun over there. Looks terrific. I often think you and Jeff Weiber have your own personal WhatsApp.
Yeah, we've never actually met, but we got a real estate brotherhood happening for sure. So thank you for inviting me on. This is always fun.
Anytime. Thanks guys for coming on. Until next time.